How to get from 0 to 40K wholesaling real estate within 4 weeks. Guys, it's Rick in, and I'm going to give you the blueprint of what I would do if I was in your shoes, if I had to get to 40K as fast as possible. Guys, I'm going to give you the truth on how to do it. The question is, are you actually going to do it? So listen, if you get value from this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button so others can find the truth out about wholesaling. So 0 to 40K in 4 weeks, very doable. The question is, can you do this? And the resounding answer is yes. If you made the decision, you said, yes, I can do it. Most of you are starting out with deal number 1. And my whole goal, Zach's whole goal here at freewholesaling.com with the Rick In channel with Flip with Rick is to get you started with deal number 1, get that done, and get you to deal 5. Why? Because 5 is the magic number where you actually are cut out for wholesaling. You have the ability, you are resourceful, you can find deals, and you know how to hunt. Anybody can get one deal. To get to deal 5 is going to take commitment and an incredible work ethic. So let's dive into it and show you exactly how to get to that right now. So the first thing you got to figure out is your lists. And so I'm going to put it up on here. The most important thing is to get started, you should already have your list. So I'm not going to do a video on lists. I'm just going to give you examples of lists that you can incorporate in this plan because we only got 4 weeks to get it done. If you want to check out, I've done some other videos on list pulling. Go to freewholesaling.com, go to the Flip with Rick, go to the Rick In channel. God knows I know how to pull lists, but we're not in that video today. So I'm assuming you already have your list. So if you don't have your list, go back and watch that video before you move forward here. Now, what type of list you're going to get? That's real simple. You're basically going to start with your government lists. Why? Because they're the most motivated. And then we're also going to do some paid list. The word paid is a little bit misleading because some of you already have this incorporated in like your X leads plans. Maybe you got prop or batch, whatever it is. That's what I'm talking about when we talk about paid list. Now, once we have our list, we are going to come over here, and now we have got to choose a path to deliver our message to the prospects that are either on our government list or the paid list and or both. And so basically, once we have the list, let's just start this. So now that we've defined that, let's just do a simple chart. We're gonna have the list, we're gonna have the marketing medium, and then most importantly, we're gonna talk quantity, because you guys are gonna need a lot of quantity to get this going. Now, let me just draw this out so we can keep track. And so let's get this going. So the first list I want you to attack is simply your driving list. What's Rick talking about? Basically, driving for dollars. Why? Number one, this is a unique list that nobody else has. The reason why I want you to start with this list is because you have to go out and create it. It is off market. Nobody else has seen these properties, and you have a huge competitive advantage. Yes, this is going to take you some time. You're using your eyes and you're looking for crappy, ugly houses. You don't need a course on it. If you don't understand it, go over to freewholesaling.com. I got an 8-minute video and I show you with me and Zach driving around looking for ugly houses with driving for dollars. So I just saved you a course fee. Now, once we create this list, how are we going to deliver our message to them? A lot of you guys are just going to leave sticky notes on the door. Some of you are going to cold call them, and some of you are going to text them. Okay, this is basically how we're delivering our message. I know these are sometimes the terminology is a little bit loose, but this is how we deliver the message to our prospects. So, what are we going to do for quantity? This is where most people miss the boat. Now, I can get in a car, and if I am in my local market, if you're doing this virtual, you'll have to do it with satellite views or anything like that. But if you have the ability to do this locally, and by the way, doing it virtually, just be resourceful. Find people that will help you find problematic properties and give you the lead, and then reward them for their activity. I ideally would like you to get 150 per week. It's not as bad as you think. Because here's the really cool part. The 150 in driving for dollars, in my opinion, is like getting 10,000 leads. Why? Because these have a higher probability of finding a deal faster and finding motivated sellers. Guys, I'm here to tell you this one's important. We're building a base here. So this is going to be week 1. So let me put that in here. Week number 1. Now here's the deal. The techniques I'm going to teach you right now is about learning how to be consistent. Consistency builds discipline. So when we do this one, You have to keep doing it, period. You can't stop. This is the key to getting 40K in 40 weeks. Most people pick one thing and they just fall asleep at the wheel and they're not very good at it. Now, I want you to get good at this. Get 150 quality driving for dollars leads. Don't just make them up. Remember, quantity counts, but if they're not quality leads, meaning they're not distressed houses, you're not going to have the competitive advantage. So that's going to be week number 1. The next week we're moving out is we are going to do reverse driving for dollars. This is simply the technique of taking a sticky note, sticking it on the door, coming up with a resourceful message. What's a resourceful message? Hey, I got a quick question about your house. This is Rick and a phone number. The less you leave, the better it is. Why? Because you're trying to invoke curiosity. Curiosity works in wholesaling. Remember, if that lead does not call you, you have zero shot at buying the house. So if you put too much on the sticky note, there's no reason for them to call you. There's no call to action. Most people think you're a friend or acquaintance or a neighbor, and honestly, we're going to use that stealthy approach so prospects call us. Remember, too much of a note? Why call you? I know what you're going to do. So we're going to do reverse driving for dollars. What type of list are we going to do for this? I'm going to give you my absolute 2 favorites right off the bat. We are going to do code violations, if I can fit that in there. And we are going to do pre-foreclosures. Why? Because they have the best probability of calling you. Why? Because they're not going to answer the phone, they're definitely not returning text, and they're ignoring the mail. The only way to really get them for this is reverse driving for dollars. Now, you're going to have to plan for this. This is harder than it looks, guys. If I have 75 or 100 leads to try to coordinate those addresses, you can do it through dmzack.com, or you can just put in a computer and try to organize the most efficient route. This part's going to take you the most amount of time. How many leads do I want you to do on that week? At least 100. I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm here to tell you, this is all in week 2. What you have to understand is here that you have to keep doing number 1, and then you got to do number 2. So as we start stacking here, you have to keep your engine running. I know what you're saying, Rick, why don't you just give me all these in week 1? Because you're not going to get it done. Because you're going to focus on driving for dollars week 1. Once you get that all set and you know you do 150, you go, okay, I got to do that in week 2. Now I'm going to add reverse driving for dollars, code violations, and pre-foreclosures, and I'm going to get 100 in a week. So keep in mind 150, and that's going to be a total of 4 weeks. 100 times 4, that's going to get you a total of 400. So as I'm keeping a running count, my total for the month, which is 4 weeks, we're already at 1,000 with the first 2. So you understand why I don't hit you with everything, because most of you are going to get overwhelmed. And the idea is, let's master this task and then get wildly consistent. Then we add this one. Then we add the reverse driving for dollars. So let's go to step number 3. Step number 3, we're going to add cold calling, because this is where you can really pour on the volume. And what do I mean by this? Now you can take any list you want between your government list and your paid list, and you can go straight into cold calling. Now, these are the lists that I want you to attack right off the bat. It doesn't matter how you get it. The tax delinquency is a requirement. Why? These are people that are behind on their property taxes, and if they don't take action, they're going to lose their property. Makes sense. Keep in mind on the tax delinquency, make sure you stay just below the average median price and make sure they're at least 2 years back on their taxes. It'll increase your odds. Remember, we're going from 0 to 40K in 1 month. You have to follow this plan to a T. I also want you to pull the vacancy list, which is going to be, you can do that within X Leads or any of the other softwares. And then you could also do the high equity. Why? Because this is going to give you massive amount of volume. But I tell you what, let's hold off on the high equity. Start pulling those 2 right off the bat, because we are going to add that in week number 4. So once you pull these 2 lists, we are going to add cold calling. And then we got to talk about goals to do this. Now, the really cool thing in the vacancy list, you don't pull it every month, because 85% of the leads are going to be the exact same. So I usually pull these once a quarter, once every 3 or 4 months, whatever you desire. Some people only do it twice a year. Now remember, this is more of a one shot. So between tax delinquency and all that, you can at least get 1,500 to 2,000 leads total. Now guys, keep in mind, this is step on week number 3. Now what you gotta understand is you are building when you do this. We started out this, then we go to week 2, we're doing driving for dollars plus the reverse driving for dollars. Week number 3, we're still doing the driving for dollars. We're still doing the reverse driving for dollars. Now we added cold calling. And guys, what is the one common denominator that cold calling and texting has involved? You have the same phone number. So if you've already purchased the phone number, I don't care how you got it, what's the next logical step to scale your business through skip tracing? That's right, because I know what you're thinking, go, Rick, dude, that's 3 steps. That is a lot. I know, but step number 4 is just simply going to be on the text mode. Now, you can use the aid of software on tools with launch control, all sorts of things. You can use multi-line dialers, however you want to do it. But between cold calling and texting, this is where you can exponentially explode the amount of prospects that you can chase down. So if I'm going to do texting, oops, I put it in the wrong column here. Let's put this over here. We are going to add texting. Here's the really cool part is I just take my cold calling list and I dump it into my text list. Same phone numbers, same prospects' names, and this is actually easy. So this isn't going to require a lot of energy because I'm already taxing you with the manual leads. So when we get down here, the only other list I'd like you to add, which will give you whatever volume you need, is high equity. Now the really cool part about high equity, you just put the filters on there. If you don't know the filters, go over to freewholesaling.com. I got it all in there for you. It's very, very basic. And on the texting, you can do this on a per week basis, 1,500 to 2,000. Now, we got to change our totals on this because what this is going to do, this is your week 4. And to keep my color coding correct, this is going to give you a total of around 2,000 leads per week. So let's do the conservative value of it, 3,000. That's going to give you around 6 to 7K in leads per month. So the greens in per month, and remember this is going to be around 2,000 because it's a one-time pull, once. So if I add up all my numbers, this is what I'm going to get on this. There's 1,000, there's 2,000, that's 3,000, 3,000 plus 7. That gives you the magic number of 10,000 leads. Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you will stick with me and understand, start out with driving for dollars. The reason I start out with driving for dollars is because it's going to give you the highest probability. We're trying to stack, go from 0 to 40K. Then we're going to add the reverse driving for dollars. Now, these are the 2 most time consuming. That's why I start out with it. On week 3, we're going to do all the above, and then we're going to add the cold calling, and we're simply going to pull the tax delinquency and the vacancy. And then from cold calling, we're going to dump it straight down in texting and do high equity. And guys, listen, you can open up and you can get whatever you want in high equity. It is what I call a catch-all. That's if you want to get massive volume. I don't know any wholesaler that doesn't work the high equity. It is a catch-all. It gets your probates. It's going to have your vacancies tied up into it. It's going to get your evictions, everything else. But the idea is to give us the best probability in week 1 and 2 and let those things start working. And the idea is, guys, if you work on 10,000 leads, you have over 10,000 conversations. Is it a lot of work? Absolutely. But 10K should easily get you to the 40K mark. And honestly, you only need 2, maybe 3 good deals to get there. And once you do this, the really cool part is you're going to exercise your hustle muscle. And once you get it going, once you see it can stick, if you can build the consistency factor, after 30 days, you can develop discipline. And here's the really cool part. Some of the beginning tasks, you can get other people to help you once you get it going, because remember, they're just locating ugly properties, and we're just locating properties that need a sticky note on the door. Once you do that, the sky's the limit. But here's the challenge, guys. Most people won't even go, some people just stop right here or they stop right there, and they want to know why they just get like 1 deal. Your goal should be get to 5 deals as soon as you possibly can. Why? because this is the journey of wholesaling. The sooner you figure it out, the more conversations you have, the more people you connect with, you'll learn how to talk to people, you'll learn how to get through these lists. Guys, this won't be easy, but it's definitely not hard. It's up to you. Who wants to go from 0 to 40K? Anybody can do it. The question is, are you going to take this blueprint and are you going to run all over it? Stop being tricked by gurus to think everything's paid for play. You're going to have to do the work. If I teach you for free or you pay somebody $100,000, I promise you, you're still going to have to go through this. Most people try this and then they try a little bit of that, and then 6 or 12 months goes by. If you want to go all in and get from 0 to 40K, go ahead and use my method. It works. I use it to this day. In the beginning, you've got to do the work. You're going to have to hustle. Some people will say you just hustle for one season. I'm telling you, you're going to do it for multiple seasons. If you want to get through it, the sooner you rip through this, the better off you're going to be. Get to 10,000 leads. Even if you're not going to do this, get to 10,000 people. Why? Because that's how you get deals. You need quantity. The more quantity you have, the more opportunities you have, and eventually you will get a great wholesale deal. And then as you go through this and your lead count climbs, you'll have more conversations. You'll get much better at this. And then after a while, you're like, this isn't that big of a deal. In the beginning, it's shocking. I'm not going to lie to you. But you got in the wholesaling and said you wanted to change your life. You wanted to get freedom of your time, and then you want to get financial freedom. This is what you have to do. This is what's behind all those courses, but they make it seem so much easier. You're going to have to do the work. Now, in the beginning, most of you are going to do it by yourself. That's okay. I'm here to tell you, once you master it, you can train other people to help you out with this system. Listen, most wholesalers are lazy. They want to do PPC and stuff like that. And honestly, if you have the experience, you have the money, you can do that. In the beginning, don't fool yourself. You can't spend $3,000 to $5,000 a lead. You have to go through and you're going to have to learn it. The sooner you bite this bullet, the better off you're going to be. Guys, let me know in the comments, are you going to go from 0 to 40K? The power is within you. You have to make the decision, and then you have to go out and do the work. Listen, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so more people can find out the truth about wholesaling. Guys, this is Rick, and I'll see you in the next video.